This is the 10-Minute Contrarian Podcast. This is VP. We are a solutions-based podcast, diving into the world of contrarian investing and alternative finance. You can find us hosted on the No Nonsense Forex YouTube channel, nononsenseforex.com, and podcast players everywhere. I am skipping ad reads for episode 32 because looking at my notes, we have a lot to go over. This is a big episode. This is a big day. Because out of every episode I've done on this podcast so far, this is the one that I think has the highest upside, the highest asymmetry. And there are so many different ways to go about it. So you've all seen the title of the podcast episode. We are talking about the Cardano Ecosystem. If you don't know, and it's weird how few people actually do know, just like Ethereum did years ago, Cardano is currently building, and has already built out in many cases, a full-fledged ecosystem on their blockchain, complete with all the types of dApps that Ethereum has too. Now, I think being super early to Cardano itself and getting into those prices, I think those days are completely gone. So if you missed that, you missed that. But what if you had the opportunity to become super early to something like Uniswap, or Chainlink, or Aave, or Dogecoin, or Decentraland, or to CryptoPunks, or to Bored Ape Yacht Club? If you were early to any one of those things I just mentioned, your life would be completely different right now, wouldn't it? If we could travel back in time and invest in any of those things I just mentioned, we would do it in a heartbeat. Now imagine that you're getting a second chance to invest in every single one of those projects. And now imagine no more, because that opportunity is here right now in front of us. Cardano has a version of all those things. It has a very large, dedicated community with money who have been waiting for this ecosystem to finally be built out. But as far as we go here on the podcast, here's the best part. Because most crypto investors are such instant gratification monkeys, and as a result, it has gotten them to hate Cardano, because Cardano actually understands that this whole cryptocurrencies thing is a long, long game. And so, God forbid, they actually decided to take their time and do things correctly. So even though the world is getting a second chance to jump in to these dApps at a very early time, most of the crypto world has a very frowny face outlook on Cardano in general, and because the crypto market has been falling, enthusiasm as a whole is at a low. The result? What could potentially be bargain basement prices for Cardano's versions of Uniswap, Link, Aave, Doge, Mana, Sandbox, Bored Apes, all of it. And most of these dApps and most of these projects are already out, and they're already doing pretty well. But they haven't taken off like crazy like they did on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, they're not brand new, like the world's never seen this before, and you probably don't have all the drug dealers and money launderers piling all their money into it like they did on Ethereum. So is the ceiling for these things going to be as high? Probably not. But if the ceiling was at least half as high, these prices are so low that when it's all said and done, who cares? The upside ceiling for these dApps and these projects could be 1/10 of what it is for the equivalent Ethereum versions. And I am still overwhelmed with enthusiasm when it comes to not only using these things, because this is, you guys know, Cardano is my favorite cryptocurrency, always has been. It's the one I got in super early. It's the one I believed in. I even got a little nod from Charles Hoskinson when I tweeted it out. I mean, I'm a Cardano guy. But now I get to invest in all of these dApps and all of these projects in their infancy, because instant gratification monkeys have gifted us with low prices that have not taken off yet. Now, some of them have had their early little pump-ups, but if you look at the history of most of the top 20, 30 cryptocurrencies we see now, it all had that first little bump, and then it had the really, really big bumps later on. And I like that. I don't like coming in at the dead bottom, as you guys know. I like to see a little bit of legitimacy first. And we're so early to the game that I'm not even seeing much, but I am seeing some, and that's going to be good enough for me. I'm speculating here. But I am willing to speculate, wait, and grow with a lot of these projects. And if you are too, listen up, because we have some really exciting things to talk about. Now let's get the nasty stuff out of the way first. There's always been a lot of FUD about Cardano. There's always been. Most of it is rooted in impatience. It's almost like these people don't understand that Cardano's taking their time on purpose. You know, it's like, well, Cardano doesn't even have smart contracts. It's a ghost chain. There's not even Dapps on it. Well, guess what, guys? It's 2022. There's Dapps on it. There's smart contracts on it. There was always going to be. And the fact that all those things weren't right then and there, right in front of you, to get your grubby little instant gratification monkey paws on, right when you wanted to have them, that's the reason why you're going to FUD this project? Okay. Things like that play right into the hands of long game players like me and you. Now, there are some legit FUD stories out there. One of them in particular is from the Blockworks podcast. They don't like the fact that the people who run the Cardano staking pools, now staking is huge in Cardano, like 90% of all Cardano out there is being staked, including mine. I think if you run a Cardano staking pool, the rate of return for you is like 100% year over year. And the Blockworks guys say this is not sustainable. It's got Ponzi scheme written all over it, blah, blah, blah. I can't really refute it. I'm not digging too deep into it, but it is plausible, I guess, right? Some people have mentioned that the developers are having problems. This could also be true. This is something else I don't really look too deeply into, but what project have developers not had some kind of problems along the way? You know, again, a lot of this goes back to lack of patience. And now if you yourself are a Cardano FUD whacker and you don't like the project and you have reasons for hating it, and shit posting on somebody's YouTube comment section is the reason why God put you on this earth, well, then you go right ahead and put that down below. You know, I'm sure there's reasons out there I haven't even seen. You know, there's definitely downside risks here, especially because a lot of these projects are so new. Some of these could be rug pulls for all I know. But you can't tell me the asymmetry is not there, because it damn sure is. The upside compared to the downside is off the charts. And like I said, this thing is fully operational right now. I have been using this ecosystem specifically for the past 2 weeks. I've been moving money around. I've been adding to wallets. I've been taking out of wallets. I've been buying NFTs. I've been moving NFTs. I've been staking. And every single time I do a transaction of any type, the most I have ever paid is 0.18 Cardano, which right now equals about a quarter, maybe less, United States dollar. When I was done, I then went to OpenSea to buy a concert ticket for Decentraland that was $4. It ended up costing me $65. So I said no. Now I can afford $65, but it's a principal thing. I didn't want to pay more than that. I had no idea who these people were. I was just interested in participating in a concert on Decentraland for the first time. Let's do it. $4. Gotcha. $65 after gas fees. No, thank you. And there's rumors out there that this whole ETH 2.0 thing might not come about for some time. And if that's the case, and you have a fully built out ecosystem where things not only work better, but to do everything is super, super cheap, I understand the Cardano ecosystem isn't the only one out there that can do this, but it is certainly one of them. And it has a lot of exciting projects in it. Not only are the Cardano people going to use it, others are going to use it too. I see very little things in my crypto life right now that I would ever need to use the Ethereum blockchain for. Cardano has everything I need, especially once all the future projects take shape. And we're going to talk about all those shortly, but first understand that if you're not in this ecosystem yet and you want to get in, you are going to need a Shelley-enabled wallet. So pretty much a Cardano wallet. And currently there's about 5 or 6 options out there. And guess what, everybody? I wrote a blog this week. I haven't done that in quite some time. But the blog is going to have everything you need in terms of choosing a wallet. And get this, if you want to see the projects I actually invested in and the tokens I actually invested in, you got to go see the blog. It's going to be down in the show notes. Just click on it when you're done with this episode, and it will shine a brighter light on everything I'm talking about here. Because even though there's about 5 or 6 wallets out there right now, it's pretty much version 1 versus version 2, if you download a version 1 wallet, there's going to be some things you just simply can't do, especially when it comes to NFTs and things like that. I ran into this problem myself. I downloaded one wallet so I could stake on it. Everything was going good. And then it came time to actually stake somewhere else and buy some NFTs, and all of a sudden it wasn't so good anymore. And I had to get another one. Now, I don't mind having two, but if you would just rather do everything out of one wallet, check out the blog. I got you covered. Now, once you have done that, you are going to have to fill your wallet with Cardano tokens. And right now, while Cardano is about 59% off of its highs, now probably would not be a bad time to go do that. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that ADA is cheap because, it can, like I say, it can always go cheaper. But when something is 59% off of its highs and their entire ecosystem that the world's been waiting for is finally getting built out and finally getting used right now, I think you could do worse. Now, once you have done that, I think the next thing you should probably do is check out some of the correlations that the Cardano ecosystem has to the Ethereum blockchain. Now, let's talk oracles. Cardano has partnered up with Chainlink in some capacity, but they're going to have their own native oracle, and that's going to be Charlie 3, CHARLI, and then the number 3. There are a few other oracles competing in this space, but as far as we know right now as I'm talking to you, Charlie 3 is at the top of the list. Now, you will also see a complete list of correlations on the blog. So again, make sure you see that. But that's going to be on your oracle side. On the DEX side, we have a lot more competition. Unfortunately, we don't have one that is clearly at the top. Right now, if you want to buy anything Cardano related, you pretty much have to go to Muesli Swap. Now, it works. I've used it a couple times. It's totally functional, but it's pretty obvious to see, I guess in my opinion, that this is not going to be the main winner when it's all said and done. The team behind it are all cartoon characters, and this thing probably has a chance of being the next Sushi Swap, which is actually pretty good, but I think that's as high as it could possibly go. I think there's better projects out there. I talk about them on the blog. Sunday Swap is one of them, but it's not out yet. We have one that's going to attempt to do cross-chain transactions from Cardano over to other chains. Pretty exciting. And you have a few others in that race as well. But just know that right now, Muesli Swap is your only option. You can also invest in its native token, ticker symbol MILK. But for much of what I'm about to talk about, this is where you're going to have to go to get it if you want it right now. There is currently one lending platform that it's at the top of the list right now, and that's going to be something called Liquid, LIQWID. To me, this has a pretty strong lead over everything else. There's another project called Meld, MELD, coming down the pike, but it's just not quite here yet. But that is another project to keep your eye on. It's something that a lot of the Cardano community is pretty excited about. Now let's go over to one of my least favorite topics of all time, and that's going to be meme coins. I wrote a whole blog on how if crypto's ever going to leap into the mainstream, meme coins have got to go. And I still believe that. But it wouldn't completely deter me from buying a meme coin in the Cardano ecosystem because, like I said, just think what it would be like if you got into something like Uniswap or Aave or Chainlink early on. But now also think of all the people that really wish they had the opportunity to jump into something like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu because they missed both of those. They are going to get the chance to do this again. Now, the bad news is people are very opportune. Cardano has a lot of meme coins out there right now. What I can say is the one at the top of the list right now is called Hosky, Hosky, named after the founder. The coin is a picture of a husky dog. And even though it is getting the most amount of inflows, it has yet to really take off. If you want to put a few bucks on that one, you could probably do worse. There's another one called Bison Coin, which is probably a close second. But again, guys, there are just opportunities every which way you look in this ecosystem. You have so many choices. And even if you're somebody who hates Cardano, let me say one thing to you, all right? This is not about your feelings. This is about your money. Those of you who have known me for a long time and have watched my YouTube videos, I'm an expert on foreign currencies. I have made 2 particular videos that talk about actually holding foreign currencies for the future. Which ones are strong, which ones should you diversify into, all that. And I firmly believe that the United States dollar has such a huge lead on everybody else. I think it has at least 10 good years before it gets replaced by anything. And I am happy to own USD. However, you guys all know that I have diversified my currency holdings into other foreign currencies that I am far less bullish on. Why did I do that? Because as arrogant as many of you find me, at least I am not like most of you, and I fully understand and fully realize that when it's all said and done, I could be dead wrong. And I am making sure I cover my ass as a result. So all you Cardano haters, all you Cardano FUD-whackers out there, understand that you could be wrong too. I'm going to wager to say you've probably been wrong before. I mean, even recently, calling Cardano a ghost chain and vaporware when it clearly isn't. I mean, many of you have already been wrong on that. Maybe you should put your feelings down for a moment and find a project that you're at least somewhat interested in, something that could have some legs, and put a little bit of money down. You don't have to tell anybody. Now, on to the projects that I am probably the most excited about, and that is everything that has to do with NFTs. Now, many of you know I have zero eye for art, and I have no interest in buying art projects on the NFT marketplace. The probabilities are very low. I am not a collector. I just don't have that gene like some people do, so I pass on it. But I am certainly not everybody. And in some of the Discord forums I'm in, there are collectors everywhere, and I get to kind of see how they think and how they operate, and it's really interesting. They're hardcore, and there are lots of hardcore collectors in the Cardano NFT space already. If you just go to the JPEG store or cnft.io and connect your Shelly wallet to it, you can get started right now and look at that entire marketplace, that entire underpriced marketplace in many cases. Did you miss out on CryptoPunks? Cardano has AdaPunks, and they've already moved up in price, but they are still a fraction of the price as you're going to find with CryptoPunks. Same thing for Bored Ape Yacht Club. Cardano has something called Chilled Kongs that have also been doing really well, but also don't have a floor of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And new projects are coming out every single day. So not only can you participate in something on the ground floor, you don't have to pay extraordinary gas fees to do it. I know super high gas fees have kept a lot of you out of the game. Well, welcome back. If you're a true collector, if you really do have an eye for art and you haven't found this yet, thank me later. Now, as far as NFTs go, there is one thing I am very, very, very interested in, and you guys know this already, and that is Metaverse projects. Cardano has about 7 or 8 of them going on right now. I have a whole spreadsheet of Metaverse projects that are being built as we speak on all sorts of different blockchains. I don't really get excited about most of them, but there is a handful of them already on the Cardano blockchain that look like something I could really, really get down with. And I've laid this out in greater detail on the blog, but let me talk about 2 of the projects that I'm really into right now. Because if you feel like you missed out on some of the early Metaverse projects, and we already talked about the crazy upside the Metaverse could have. It could be the next social media. It could be the next freaking internet. But the early projects have already kind of come and gone price-wise to a lot of people. So listen up. Cardano's version of Decentraland is called Pavia, P-A-V-I-A. We don't know a whole lot about it just yet. We have a map. We have land parcels. We've seen some of the demos that already looks a lot better than Decentraland, which really isn't saying much, I guess, but they're putting some real thought into this. And they're also building a portal system to where once all of the metaverses are built out, you can take your avatar and kind of warp over to all the different metaverses that are there on the system already. Really cool feature. But the best thing with Pavia is you can go in there and buy land right now for probably a third of the price as you could with Decentraland right now. So I did this a few weeks ago. I bought 2 parcels of land, and this time I didn't make the same mistake I did with Decentraland. With Decentraland, I bought a land that had a pretty good location. And for the price I paid for that, I could have gotten just like 2 random middle of nowhere plots of land, and I kind of wish I did that. Because when it comes to actual real estate, if it's in a good neighborhood, or if it's by mass transit, or if it's by the water, obviously those lands are worth more. But in the metaverse, we're not going to be walking down the street or walking down the beach that often. You just kind of warp to wherever you want to go. So it really doesn't matter where you have land. So this time I just bought the cheapest lands I could find. I bought 2 plots, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Then something happened. And I want you to pay attention here, because this can happen to all of you, because there are so many projects out there, and if you are early, you get rewarded. Soon after, Pavia did an airdrop of their native Pavia token. And it didn't matter how much your lands cost. Just the fact that you had one, for every parcel of land you held, you got 8,333 Pavia tokens. The value of the tokens on the airdrop were worth twice what I paid for my land. So I had 2x'd my investment in a matter of maybe a week and a half just by being early to the project. Now, I don't know if they're going to do this again, but it doesn't matter. If you want, you get to come in at 1/3 the price of Decentraland, and you too can be a digital landowner. And we are so early into this project. I mean, guys, I bought my Decentraland land when Decentraland was already a fully operational thing. We are still at the nascent stages of Pavia. Full disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't do anything I say. If I think something is underpriced, it's simply because I think it is underpriced, and I try to provide my reasons to why this is. But I just wanted to let you know about something you may not currently know about. So get those wallets started, stake them with ADA, and I would just do this part now. Because when a week goes by in these metaverse projects, it almost feels like 3 months. As early as I've been to these things, I wish I was around like 1 or 2 months ago. It would be insane. One of those projects I really wish I was a bit earlier on, even though we're still super duper early to it, is something called Cardania. Cardania is going to be a game, kind of in the World of Warcraft, Hearthstone motif. If I had to compare it to anything, I'm almost just kind of semi-quoting what the founder has been talking about. But there's going to be a card game element to it as well. Now, there are so many play-to-earn games out there right now, but most of them, you can tell, they're very forced. They don't look super fun, and that's because they were rushed out to market. This is not going to be, just like everything on the Cardano blockchain. And even as a very casual gamer myself, I took one look at this and I said, this really does look like fun. But then I took a deeper look, and as an investor, I almost hit the roof. You can also buy plots of land in this game. And not only do you get automatic passive income in their native token simply by holding this land, you will get passive income anytime a player does something on your land. You understand me? If your land has a river, anytime they get a drink of water, if it has a shrine that they go pray to, if it has an enemy they have to kill, if it has minerals they can mine, you're going to get passive income tokens every time somebody does this. So think of any open world MMORPG that you have ever played, and imagine somebody owned the land you're on and made money every time you did something. I mean, that's the world we get to live in now. And assuming Cardania becomes a project and it becomes a full-fledged game, this is the opportunity you will have as well. And you'll also be able to earn tokens by playing the game. I have gone full bore on this. Now understand, as far as how leveraged I am into this ecosystem, I'm just really taking one investment. So let's say I want to buy a new cryptocurrency and the amount I normally pay is $1,000. Well, that's how much I'm putting into this ecosystem. I'm really just taking Cardano tokens I already have and redistributing them. But if I didn't have any, the total amount I am investing in this entire ecosystem, tokens, land, NFTs, all of it, is about the same as one normal investment. Now, it's probably going to go a little bit over that when it's all said and done. But I have bought all sorts of different land on Cardania. I bought a couple of the founders cards, which entitles me to free land drops. as long as I'm staking in their pool, which I am. And here's what's great. If anything I said about Cardania interests you right now, if you are really quick, because I don't know exactly when this is going to happen, but they are minting the last round of Founders cards, so you can actually get one at a fairly low price. And if you have a Founders card in your wallet and you are staking at least 10 ADA to their pool, you are going to get airdropped a free parcel of land. So you need to go to the Cardania website and then join their Discord. And their Discord is thriving, by the way. And if you have any questions on anything I just talked about, ask the people there. They will be happy to help. Just, be a champ and do as much research as you can early before you do that. But it's weird with these airdrops. I mean, there's airdrops out there that you have like a 1 in 100 chance of getting something, but there's airdrops that are automatic, especially if you have invested in this project early. And rarely do they get announced ahead of time, but this one is. And if you act now in the next few days, you still have a chance to get this thing done if you want. Now, right now, if you simply just want to buy a parcel of land, the floor is only 95 ADA, and you too can be a landowner. A landowner that is going to make passive income in the future, by the way, if this game gets done, for 95 ADA. Or you could get in now and try to mint a Founders card and get free land. You could buy a Founders card. Let's see where the floor is there. The floor for Founders cards right now is 98 ADA, so not bad. Now, I might have been talking over your heads for the last 2 minutes. I understand that. I just don't know any other way to describe this without taking forever, and we've already taken forever. This is the 10-Minute Contrarian Podcast. But simply going to their main site and watching a couple YouTube videos will do you good. Now, as far as YouTube videos go, there are some really good sources if you really want to get deep into this ecosystem. Some of my favorites right now, there's a channel called Army of Spies that pretty much covers everything Cardano ecosystem related. There's a guy called Jay Crypto. It's this younger guy out of Boston. And he focuses heavily on the NFT and Metaverse side of things. And he comes out with about one video a day. I always make sure I watch it. So if you want to continue your Cardano ecosystem education from here, go to the blog. But then check out those channels too. And those aren't the only channels. There's a guy called Zillennial Money. He's pretty good. He focuses in on Sunday Swap mostly. There's a news program with a cartoon cat. I mean, this thing is really gaining momentum. Yet everything is still in its very early developing stages. So proceed with caution and understand that even in the crypto world, there's going to be a lot of people out there telling you that this isn't the way to go because it's not going to pay dividends right now. And why would you put your money here and wait when you can put your money elsewhere and get money now? Well, I don't know. Maybe we're all just crazy. But I certainly don't think we're crazy here. I think we're just early.